difference it really makes. So, you know, just that quick reminder as we start things off on this Tuesday morning. Going to the back page, some sports, and, well, football is in the air. We had a nice game against Gabon. Obviously, we missed some penalties. It didn't go down well with me, at least. You know, we had such a good fight. We were down. We were able to come back through a Levi Garcia header. Then Levi again stepping up like a captain, like the champion he is, to put the equalizer in down inside the dregs of the game, very close to the 90th. It went down to penalties, and the same man was our hero, Levi, who is, I mean, a really nice guy. I've met Levi, and I mean, to me, he is one of our standout players. I guess, unfortunately, it didn't work out for him with the penalty. It hit the crossbar, and we went on to lose on penalties, but a good showing nonetheless, and we wish the team the best as they continue to recalibrate, to rebuild, to refocus and re-engineer the talent that is readily available. But it must work in cohesion with a greater plan as to, I guess, a World Cup berth, because we have been there before, but this would have been our year and it didn't work out. So hard luck there to the men's senior team. We wish them the best going forward. And on that, in this particular vein, on that particular trajectory, I also want to again put my support and put the words of positivity and energy out to Jamaica's squad, who play the Democratic Republic of Congo today for the most crucial of crucials when it comes to World Cup qualifying. The winner of the game today goes on to the tournament, literally, I believe, 73 days away. So Jamaica, well, Suriname is out, and Jamaica being our last in terms of the Caribbean hopeful, at least like English-speaking Caribbean, obviously. You know, Curacao, they're there, and they're Caribbean also, but at least when it comes to Jamaica, we relate so much to the food, to the culture, to the music, to the people. All right, so Jamaica, go brave and make us proud, make all of us in the Caribbean proud, and get back in the dance. Last time he was there was way back in 1998 in France. It's been a long, long wait. May that wait come to an end later on tonight when you take on Congo. All the best. We head to the brief, and then we touch in with Eddie Stewart, who is standing by. So Easter's in the air, and you can see that the young girls there putting a nice light and brightening up. Yes, brighten up the Harris Promenade there in the Southland. I'm seeing Jelana, I believe it is, and Janae in the Easter bonnet competition. Or is it bonnet? I sometimes get a bit twisted and conflicted with the word. I know someone will indeed remind me and inform me when we open up the lines after 7. With that said, my friends, we touch base with President of the Trinidad and Tobago Nurses Association. A very timely discussion. Edie Stewart joins me concerning the nurses' protest and what's the game plan going forward. President Stewart, next.
Introducing the new Sun Mix Nut Bar. Available in 3 delicious flavors: granola raisin nut, almond cranberry crunch, and coconut almond crisp. All packed on a rich bed of dark chocolate.
Taste the good life, snack right. Taste the good life anytime. Good life. Sun Mix.
Sunshine Snacks Sun Mix Nut Bar. Taste the good life.
Join us at the Trinidad and Tobago Disaster Risk Management Conference and Expo from June 1st to 3rd. Step into 3 full conference days of presentations, panels, and learning labs that mirror real disaster risk scenarios, including national power outages, disaster risk finance, and sustainable urban planning, waste and debris management. Register now at www.ttdrm.com/register now.
Is mealtime more of a chore than a cherished time? Does a lack of appetite keep your family, young and old, from getting the nourishment they need? Introducing Apetamin, the gentle, effective appetite stimulant designed for every age. Apetamin helps spark the natural desire to eat, turning hesitant nibbles into satisfying meals. Watch as food becomes exciting again, fueling growth, energy, and shared moments around the table. Give your body the gift of a joyful appetite. Find Apetamin in pharmacies nationwide.
For me, people matter most. It's the same if you hail from Moruga, where I'm from, Mount Irvin, Scarborough, or Port of Spain. As a journalist, I'm focused on building that connection between Trinidad, the region, and the world. Most importantly, I want always to use my voice as a powerful weapon to break down barriers wherever they exist. This is why we are where you are.
I got a bone to pick with you. Ladies, I'm talking about that 90-day thing.
Well, so how that's bothering you?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you how it's bothering me. I figure like this, ladies, if you're in your 20s, wait 90 days. If you're in your 30s, wait 60 days. If you're in your 40s, wait 30 days. But if you're over 50, jump on it.
Wanted to be a mom. Always wanted to plan when it was going to happen.
What's wrong?
I'm pregnant. I haven't told Andrew yet.
But you're not thinking about getting back together with him.
If you need me, I'm just a phone call away, okay?
Doesn't it bother you not having a plan?
Life's got a way of showing you what your next move's gonna be.
Season 2 of Sullivan's Crossing premieres May 13th at 8 p.m. Only on CNC3. This season, Ask the Doctor is at a new time. It's your weekly prescription for trusted medical advice. In the Doctor's Capsule, Dr. Tilak Singh breaks down big health topics clearly and simply. Get a dose of smiles in the Kiddies Capsule as our youngest experts share health tips with heart. Explore the science behind the headlines in Medical Minds, featuring real doctors, real insight, and your questions matter. Join the open forum live and get answers straight from the source. Ask the Doctor, every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
Well, for those looking at the news cycle, you'll be obviously concerned with what's happening at the nation's hospitals. It's a particular issue that's been discussed here time and time again by the president of the Nursing Association, Edie Stewart. He joins me live to treat with the recent development, what's in place for the long term, and if there is any impact thus far based on the protests. Edie, I want to say welcome to you. Thanks for joining us so bright and early on this Tuesday morning. Welcome.
A pleasant morning to you and your listeners. Thanks for having me.
Edie, what's the latest? I know I would have seen you on the news cycle with the particular protest there in Grandi. I know there was a kind of back and forth between yourself and Dr. Tim Gopi Singh. As of today, the 31st of March, did this particular protest, the one in Grandi, the one we would have seen that kicked things off in San Fernando some weeks ago, is it sending the message? Is there any impact thus far based on the protest and the lifting of the voice, the collective voice of the nurses?
Well, again, pleasant morning. The protest that we have engaged in over the last couple of weeks is specifically to deal with the salary increases or the lack of salary increases to healthcare workers, nursing and midwifery personnel, and all other healthcare workers currently working within the regional health authorities. So this is the main reason. It is actually one of the first times in the history of the Nursing Association that we are actually protesting on nursing salaries, increasing the nursing salaries. Prior to that, prior to this occasion, we have protesting on a number of issues. We have protested for safe staffing levels within the institution. That was one of our major goals over the last 10 years. And we have protested on a number of occasions under the last government to ensure that there are safe staffing levels, because we saw that as one of the main pillars of executing quality healthcare for our citizens. Unfortunately, one of the RHAs never dealt with that issue of safe staffing, and that particular regional health authority who has never treated with safe staffing is the NCRHA. We would have gotten all of the other RHAs to get their numbers up. In fact, recently, Northwest Regional Health Authority hired 100 nurses in the last quarter of 2025. Then they hired a second cohort of 100 nurses in early 2026 here. And so they are on the correct path. Tobago and ERHA, they are up to their staffing numbers. Southwest is increasing their numbers dramatically. So the only other RHA that is really falling behind, really lagging behind, is the NCRHA. And this is what has led us into, as of Friday, into another major issue. While the association was focused on getting salary increases up and trying to ascertain from the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Health that what is the justification where all other categories of workers currently in the state sector are receiving salary increases. What is it about healthcare workers that you don't believe they deserve a salary increase, and you believe that they should remain on 2013 salaries? And while we are treating with that issue, lo and behold, NCRHA is seeking, by some stretch of imagination, to lower the salaries, lower the income, rather, of nursing and midwifery personnel by reducing the amount of extra duty compensation that would have normally come to them and have been coming to them. They are seeking to lower that. So this issue really is a threefold issue. You have a situation where NCRHA is short of nursing and midwifery personnel to execute basic functions within the authority in a safe manner, a safe and efficient manner. Then they have reduced the income for that. They have reduced the income for those persons who want and volunteer themselves to work this extra duty. And then you are doing it to a group of persons who have not been paid a salary increase and continue to work on 2013 salaries in 2026. So these myriad of issues, this collection of issues have really exploded over the weekend, exploded on Friday, where another insult came to nursing and midwifery personnel, where the authority found it prudent that even though all of these things are going on, the amount of money you worked for February month, that extra duty that you work for February month, we will not pay you that amount. We're going to undertake some audit, and you know how long government takes to audit. We're going to undertake an audit of that money that you already worked for in February 2026. So all of that, it just basically blew up, and you have a situation where workers basically took stuff into their own hands. And this is what we are seeing now.
It's almost the perfect storm, President Stewart. And I want to ask the NCRHA that you speak of, that's the one under the purview of Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
I want to find out, what's the source of that kind of back and forth between yourself and Dr. Gopi Singh? Have you sat in your quiet moment to try to process as to why he especially is being so harsh towards you? Because his claim is that you're doing all this to boost membership, and he doesn't seem to be taking this quite serious, and it seems to be almost like a strategic pushback, really, as it pertains to the nurses who operate within that space, and that's a massive catchment area. We're talking Mount Hope as far central as the Couva Hospital. We're talking everything in that particular stretch from Chaguanas and that east-west corridor. Arima.
Cora, St. Joseph,
that's, I mean, other than NCRH, I would imagine the South Regional Authority, they also deal with a large catchment, probably the biggest in South, but you can't underestimate the kind of people you'll interact with and treat on a daily basis, tens of thousands in the NCRH.
Yeah. Yes. Well, first to begin, if anyone is to pay attention to all my comments, none of them has been personalized. All of them speak on the issues at hand. All of them is trying to find a way forward with this impasse that the Minister of Health is not aware of. So that is what I have been focused on. Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, unfortunately, is focusing on personalities and all of these things. And persons must appreciate Dr. Tim Gopi Singh is a politician. Dr. Tim Gopi Singh knows what is needed to divert persons' attention from the central issue. He is aware, he has been in politics basically majority of his life, and he knows how to change the narrative. So instead of focusing on the shortage of nursing and midwifery personnel within the authority, instead of focusing on why have you stopped the income and reduced the income for persons for work already done, a serious industrial relations violation. Instead of focusing on those things, he tries to turn the narrative and speak on a number of erroneous topics which we really don't want to comment on, because again, it will divert from the central issue at hand, the shortage of nursing personnel. And we are saying the shortage of nursing personnel not simply because of, we're guessing that, we would have received our information from the very NCRHA, from the very authority, and from the very Ministry of Health via the FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Access requests. And this is how we fully well know the NCRHA is short of nursing and midwifery personnel by hundreds. He spoke about 50 persons they're scrambling to pull in over this weekend. And he's not acknowledging that they are actually short-staffed. And he's not acknowledging that, yes, the reason why your pool or your extra duty will be high is because your nursing numbers are low. Yeah, that's a simple fact, and it will always be low. Yeah.
Let me ask President Stewart, I know that part of the major concern is the fact that besides being short-staffed, some of the nurses, most of them are being overworked with limited resources. You yourself told me that people have to pull from other departments to get a syringe and to get a cloth. And so they've found ways to work things out within their ecosystem. However, for those looking on who are just concerned about the well-being and care of their family members, what's your advice to them this morning? What's your word of comfort to those who have an auntie, an uncle, a mom, a dad, a child in the system as we speak, and they're probably getting nervous as to if this particular loved one, there's special somebody at home will be taken care of in the institution that is supposed to protect and help people mend, of course, the hospital.
JW, let me say, the association has put out on several occasions since this recent development, and this recent development I'm speaking about is what the administration has done as of Thursday, Friday, and how it has negatively impacted the nursing and midwifery personnel. And the reaction, the spontaneous reaction by nursing and midwifery personnel, the unplanned, the indigenous reaction by nursing and midwifery personnel, it is really unfortunate that this has happened. And we have been advising members of the public, if you can, try to seek care at one of the other institutions under the other RHAs, Southwest, Eastern, Northwest. Try to seek care at some of these other institutions, which are much better run, much better operated, much better administration, a much better board in place that can direct accordingly proper management. So we have advised that or seek private care if you can, if you have the finances, what have you. But what is taking place within NCRHA right now, there's really no way one can guarantee a quality care being delivered. When you have a situation where NCRHA is calling out student nursing personnel to really man the wards, and very junior nurses, well, it can't get more junior than having never practiced as a registered nurse before. And you're calling them now to hold and man these wards, high acuity wards. There's no way you can guarantee quality care. You see, in Dr. Tim Gopi Singh Mang and some of these other doctors who have passed through as ministers of health, as chairmen, as CEOs, they view a nurse as a nurse. They view it as a hand is a hand. You just put a hand there and they will be able to execute the duties. And they're not realizing that nursing is a highly technical skill, and you need to be experienced, and you need to have that knowledge, capacity to treat with some of these medications, some of these disorders that persons are coming into the institution with. But in their eyes, they don't see that. They see they could just put anyone, and you hear them speaking about PCAs, you hear a past Minister of Health, and ironically, under the same administration, some time ago, speaking about a nurse is one nurse and one subject and a passion, and to be a nurse. You hear them speaking about these types of narratives because that is how they view nursing and midwifery personnel. And unfortunately, nursing and midwifery personnel are no longer willing to be viewed in that light, because we believe that when you view us in that light, that is the justification for speaking to us in that manner. And if you speak to any staff, forget nursing and midwifery personnel for a second. If anyone in the media or in the public or the Minister of Health or the Prime Minister speaks to any staff member within the NCRHA and asks them what is the interaction they have had with Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, more than likely, they would say it's not a pleasant interaction. And we hearing it from all of the other categories of staff, the manner and the tone and the tenor and the vitriol that he expounds on, it is really not, it's not nice. It's not nice to be speaking to healthcare professionals in that manner. So, and all of that is throws in the mix of why this thing has mushroomed to the levels that it has.
But President Stewart, it seems like we're really in some dire straits, because if your recommendation is for the public to go to other institutions based on what's happening, it seems to be really, really severe. Keep us posted, President Stewart. I have like literally some seconds before we take the break. Where can we, or when can we get some more details as to this ever fluid story? So many moving parts.
Well, the association will be heading to Port of Spain outside of the Minister of Health building on April 10th, as we continue our focus to demand salary increases for us to move from these 2013 salaries operating in 2026. And we are pushing for the Minister of Health to break his silence on why healthcare workers have not been receiving salary increases. Yes, so that's our main focus, and we hope at some point that the Minister of Health will break his silence, either him or the Minister of Finance going forward.
President Edie Stewart, keep us posted. All the best, and I hope this is able to come to some resolution sooner than later. All the best.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Well, speaking to the situation there, especially coming out of the NCRHA, so that's Mount Topa, Rima, Couva Hospital, all the health centers in that particular catchment area. Some tough days ahead, clearly, and we'll keep you on top of all the developments right here on CNC3. Up next, we stay within health and well-being. We bring in Dr. Nicole Ramlachan. We are treating with yellow fever concerns, a very important conversation. Also, a new COVID-19 strain. Details after the break.
Jason has watched every World Cup from here, but not today. Because he made all his purchases with Visa and won a trip to the FIFA World Cup 2026. Whoever uses Visa most wins. Pay with Visa.
My man, Andre.
Good night, Anthony.
7 years with the company, and we couldn't do it without Antoine.
Happy birthday, dear Alejandro. Happy birthday to you.
Who's Angelo? We're like coworkers who don't forget your name. I'm Angelo. CG United. Good like that.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Dr. Nicole Ramlachan joins me. Always a pleasure to touch base with Dr. Ramlachan. Of course, she's a geneticist and biotechnologist. I saw you last week in a different capacity treating with the SCA excitement, but today we are back to our regular discussion and advice really on some of the concerns we are hearing of yellow fever, increase. We're hearing of a new COVID-19 strain, but let's start with the yellow fever concerns. And as always, Doc, great to see you. I'm kind of surprised because I know we're not in no rainy season. Mosquitoes clearly really doesn't matter the season, dry season, rainy season, they're out to do their thing. And I know people were kind of concerned with what they saw the red howler monkey also. I've been told that, they found out the monkey died from yellow fever. So people were a bit concerned. Could you bring some clarity to all what's happening right now, Doc? Great to see you as always.
Hi, viewers. I've emerged from SCA mom hibernation.
Yeah. I saw you. I saw you there. I say, wow, peace.
No, it was as you know, that's a discussion for another time.
Yes, for sure.
But one of the things that, of course, because of SCA, and because of children being in school and so on, is the close quarters. Those kinds of things kind of increase infections of mosquito-borne viruses, which is what yellow fever is, right? It's a flavivirus, which is in the same family as dengue and Zika and bird flu, and some of those other ones that are carried by vectors, right? In this case, the vector is an insect, specifically a mosquito of the Aedes species, right? As we are very familiar with it. We always hear about Aedes aegypti, Aedes, and all the different Aedes species, but we also have the Haemophilus species as well too, which is also a carrier of yellow fever. Yellow fever has been around for hundreds of years, and we have had a very effective vaccine against it for at least 50 or so years, and it has been pivotal for controlling the spread and the severity of the disease, obviously, and especially in immunocompromised populations, elderly, young, the usual people who are going to be more susceptible to it. It does cause death when it becomes hemorrhagic, because it is what we call a hemorrhagic virus, which is similar to dengue. So the only real prevention is vaccination. Now, it really doesn't matter dry season, wet season when it comes to yellow fever, and that's one reason why we have vaccine certification in a lot of countries, including Trinidad and Tobago, to allow people who are coming in to be vaccinated against yellow fever. Some countries won't allow you in unless you can show the vaccine certificate, like Suriname and Guyana and so on, because it's so endemic in those countries, especially in South America, Latin America, Africa. There were big epidemics at certain times that were able to be controlled using vaccination. And in fact, there are a lot of countries now that are working towards eradication, hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years, with increased vaccination and surveillance and so on. And of course, control of mosquito populations, the usual.
Is it contagious?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously, I wonder, okay, so the vaccine will give you a layer of protection, but why is the big, I mean, I know certain countries, they really take that very serious. Why do they, why would they not want to allow someone to come in if they're not vaccinated?
Well, it's not contagious from human to human. It's contagious in that if a mosquito bites an infected individual, and it can carry the virus from one person to another. Right? It's not an airborne virus in the case of COVID or influenza and those kinds of things, but it is, you can get it from an infected individual, just same way as dengue, same way as Zika. If a mosquito bites you and carries the virus in the blood that takes up the virus in your blood and bites another individual, then yes, it can be transmitted. Also, too, mosquitoes can be, can travel from country to country now, right? We have boats, we have ships, we have planes, we have individuals who are traveling back and forth, and they can move the vector as well quite universally across the countries, in addition to, of course, carrying the virus in your blood.
Okay, understood. So it's a cause, obviously, for concern. What are some of the red flags? I mean, if someone finds themselves feeling a bit off, what you would know for sure, based on your symptoms, this is probably yellow fever, and I need to sort myself out immediately?
This is the big one. The yellowing of the skin and the eyes and so on. That's a big differentiation between yellow fever and one of the others. I mean, you need to see your physician if you have any kind of viral-like illness, right? I mean, we now have circulating the BA3.2 in our part of the world that's been around since about 2024 in lower amounts, but it's an Omicron variant, just like one of the other variants that developed from the original version of COVID-19. And what a lot of people don't realize is that we have been continuing to have deaths due to COVID, due to yellow fever, due to influenza every year, as always. Again, specifically in immunocompromised, in the weaker members of society and the individuals that are more susceptible to it. Similarly, with viral illnesses, it manifests more or less the same in terms of a cold, sometimes fever, sometimes aches, pains, chills, those kinds of things. But specifically with yellow fever, you get that jaundice look, which is quite dangerous if it gets to that point, because then the hemorrhagic part of the story occurs in about 15% of individuals who get very severe illness, and that can sometimes proceed to death. So similarly with influenza, similarly with COVID-19, and a lot of these other viral illnesses, there is that part of the population that is susceptible. And also, too, once it becomes down that road where you need hospitalization and you need care, you need to proceed very quickly. So, keep an eye out on your loved ones, your older individuals, your younger children, and so on. Try to understand that mosquito biting that carries things like yellow fever and dengue and stuff are day-biting mosquitoes. It doesn't happen in the evening. We have this idea in Trinidad and Tobago that once you close up at dusk and dawn, you're okay, but it's not true. These are carried by day-biting mosquitoes. So it's a risk, especially in the children at home. A lot of children root SCA, like my daughter, that they want to be around the house all the time. They want to be around the pool. They want to go outside. Finally, they're able to run around. The weather is quite good these days. We have a little bit of rain, but it's okay. But again, the pockets of water and those kinds of things you have to control around your house.
Dr. Ramlachan, speaking about children, for the women who are probably in the second or third trimester, pregnant women, is this a concern for the unborn fetus?
Well, if the individual, obviously, if the mother gets infected with any of one of these viruses, it can be transmitted to the fetus. However, if the mother is vaccinated, which we all are supposed to be, once we are resident of Trinidad and Tobago, past the mid-70s, and born every time since that every vaccination protocol calls for yellow fever vaccination. So it's a one-time lifetime vaccine that prevents infection in pregnant women as well. As we move further afield, what is this I'm hearing about this new COVID-19 strain? Are we to be concerned, and is most importantly this particular strain here in Trinidad what you're seeing via the empiricals? No, it's CBA 3.2 that we talked about. I think we talked about it last year around Carnival time.
The same strain. There's nothing new from that.
It's new to our part of the world, I guess. So it was present in other areas, and it's now been, what happens with the COVID-19 variants is that they start rising. The old one is down, up here, then it starts to decrease, and then this one takes over, and that's pretty much what's been happening since the original strain in 2019. That spread around the world that caused the pandemic. So since then, we've had many different mutations. This particular BA.3.2 is of the family of the Omicron variants. However, it has accumulated more than 70 to 75 mutations. That makes it a little bit different from the last iteration of the Omicron, and even more, of course, away from the original strains which the original vaccines were developed against. Now, we've had Omicron variants, vaccines against those variants, and those seem to be effective against this variant as well, too, as well as some of the older Omicron variants. But it's going to be a situation like influenza, where new variants are going to come up and peak. The situation with COVID-19 is a little bit different from influenza, in that influenza has been around for hundreds of years, whereas COVID-19 has just started. This particular version has came out into circulation and really only became a novel virus in the last 6, 7, 8 years to our knowledge, right? When it first emerged, at least became the pandemic 6 years ago. The original SARS-CoV epidemic that was a smaller pandemic in the early 2000s was also related to this coronavirus. However, this particular version is now becoming much more virulent in terms of contagiousness and those kinds of things. So that's why it's of concern. The Omicron vaccines are still effective against it. It's not as effective, of course, because it keeps going away from that. So, we recommend that, that you get vaccinated if you have the ability to do so. We don't have the vaccines available locally, but if you travel and you can do so, it's recommended that you do, especially if you're immunocompromised again and you have comorbidities and all of those things that raise your risk. Long COVID is, of course, an issue. If you get infected with this virus, you get that long-standing effect of muscle issues, brain fog, all those kinds of things. And those symptoms are still present with this particular variant. There's a sore throat as well, and a long nagging cough that's associated with it. That is one of the key symptoms of this particular variant. No more of concern as I think any other variant. You have to do the usual. Mask up if you're sick and you're going around immunocompromised older individuals. Try to keep your children, hands washed and safe. And if they have to go to crowds, which of course they will, it's Easter vacation time, try to keep them home if they're ill. And if they're not, mask up if it is that you suspect that something's happening. If not, just take your usual precautions. There's no, no extra panic, of course. We have to learn to live with COVID-19 as we do with influenza, as we do with yellow fever, and a lot of these other viruses, especially, in the travel season, which is, of course, what Easter vacation is as well, too. So usual precautions, nothing major, but vaccinate. We have a lot of these vaccines available that have been available for 50 plus years that have continued to save lives. And I encourage people to do the diligence that they need to do and keep your family safe, especially your young children and school-age children.
Yeah, what's that, Doc? Because obviously, you're still seeing people coughing out loud in their hand. Folks, they're not well and they're showing up not wearing a mask. Now, obviously, I don't want people to go back to wearing a mask, but I think it's only correct if you're not well, probably just to give yourself that layer of protection and to ensure that you don't infect anybody else. So thanks for that advice.
And individuals are very responsible. During COVID, everybody got used to wearing a mask. Since that, with our children, especially even my daughter who wrote SEA, a lot of the advice was, wear a mask in the weeks leading up to SEA. It's just responsible practices. It's not a big deal. What's the impact on you putting on a mask on your child or yourself for a couple hours if you're around somebody who is severely immunocompromised, who has not been vaccinated, who has risk of death or dying, whereas you yourself may have a much lower risk. And a lot of people say that, it don't matter to me, I get COVID, I get dengue, I survive. Yeah, okay, but what about the other members of your society who cannot get vaccinated, who are susceptible, who could, get severe disease and die? It's just a part of being a responsible human. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of countries are pulling away from vaccine protocols, which we've used for 50, 60 years. And we have to recognize that it is part of our responsibility as a human being to be able to help others from being affected by this virus in ways that they can't control. And that's really what I try to say. And we've had, again, years and years of research in these vaccines, years and years in these therapies. So it's not new and innovative things that designed to, attack people. It's really to help society and help people eradicate these horrible illnesses that we lose people every single year. Thousands of people die from these viruses. So we really need to be a little more responsible.
Dr. Ramlachan, as always, sincere thanks. Great seeing you, and we will touch base soon. All the best.
Thanks so much. Enjoy Easter vacation, everyone, and a Holy Week for those who celebrate.
That's right. Same to you, Dr. Ramlachan, touching base, giving us the latest via the yellow fever concerns and the new COVID-19 strain that's, well, clearly on what she's saying, more or less here, but we must follow our protocols and still be vigilant and be careful and be safe. We take the pause, we come back, some housekeeping to treat with before we head to the 7 a.m. news update. However, your calls, that's happening after 7. So I look forward. See you soon.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order. Kali Matha Astrology Center, Master Karthik. 35 years experience, Indian generation astrologer. He can discuss past, present, and future. He can advise on reading hand, face, and horoscope. He would give advice for all your problems. Special guidance for broken relationships, husband and wife disputes. Can advise on bringing back loved ones. Gives unbreakable protection. Call now 275-7489. Located in Arima, Port of Spain, Debe, Curep, Chaguanas, and San Fernando. We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Deva Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
I've always wanted to be a mom. Always wanted to plan when it was going to happen.
What's wrong?
I'm pregnant. I haven't told Andrew yet.
But you're not thinking about getting back together with him.
If you need me, I'm just a phone call away, okay?
Doesn't it bother you not having a plan?
Life's got a way of showing you what your next move's gonna be.
Season 2 of Sullivan's Crossing premieres May 13th at 8 p.m. Only on CNC3.
Moving up to 7 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. Just a quick reminder on the only way really. This is definitely one of the main portals to get in touch, to book your space. You're going to do that via our email address. We check it, we respond and let you know when and what is the time. You know the time already, between 6 to 8, but we let you know the day. And we're looking at, well, at least for you, take a note, tmb@cnc3.co.tt, short, concise, to the point, and I will see you soon. You're welcome. Let's head to the social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, and X. Very active. Social media is always on point. We put the stories out and we keep you in the know. Another place to do such is the CNC3 mobile app, your #1 source for verified breaking news, all your favorite content there on demand. Get it today via the CNC3 mobile app. That's right. Let's move now to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Get your copy today. All your favorite developments. Well, I can't say favorite developments. Your favorite folks doing analysis really of the developments. And well, of course, we must acknowledge the business page, the sports page. Always some great commentary in our opinion column. And for those who want to enjoy the Guardian on the desktop, tablet, or mobile, you can visit guardian.co.tt today. Let's head across to our food for thought, words to inspire on this Tuesday morning. There is nothing permanent except change. Again, there is nothing permanent except change. That's right. Now, in terms of today's weather forecast, today's forecast shows the likelihood of a few periods of scattered showers, especially between late morning and late afternoon. There is also the medium chance of the heavy shower or even the thunderstorm, mainly over western Trinidad. All right, so you can expect temperatures of 32 degrees Celsius in Trinidad and 31 degrees Celsius in Tobago. Based on what you're seeing on the map, see the clouds there? Them cloud carrying rain. So the place that dry, anybody who your grass dry looking brown, your plants, your croton looking dead, it might get a chance to catch itself today, especially for our friends in the west. All right, so that's what's happening via our weather forecast. We get ready for our time check. We get ready for the 7 a.m. news update, and we come back after 7. I'm looking forward. There is so much happening the last couple of days for the long weekend. So let's catch up and let's touch base and interact via our open forum that's happening after 7. See you soon.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off. Let me see you rock off. Let me see you kick right. Now step forward, now step back.
Lucozade, bring the energy. Unbeatable taste, new look.
Shake off. Let me see you rock off.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
For me, people matter most. It's the same if you hail from Moruga, where I'm from, Mount Irvin, Scarborough, or Port of Spain. As a journalist, I'm focused on building that connection between Trinidad, the region, and the world. Most importantly, I want always to use my voice as a powerful weapon to break down barriers wherever they exist. This is why we are where you are.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning. I am Jen Sullivan with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. The country's top cop is apologizing for the role police once played in suppressing the Baptist faith. Commissioner Alistair Guevara says the service now views the spiritual Baptist community as a partner in the fight against crime. At a ceremony in Couva to mark Spiritual Baptist Liberation Day, Guevara reminded worshippers that between 1917 and 1951, officers were required to enforce an ordinance that silenced their ancestors' cultural and spiritual expression. He noted that despite the ban, the faith survived and eventually thrived.
We acknowledge that the instruments of the state, which included at that time the Trinidad and Tobago Police Force, as it was known, was used to suppress your community, and today we stand in a different place.
Chief Secretary Farley Augustine is calling for stronger security measures to protect Tobago's public infrastructure. He spoke to reporters yesterday after acts of vandalism at 4 critical water wells on the island. Augustine said repairs are nearly complete, but the incident exposed serious weaknesses in security arrangements.
One of the things that concern me, for example, in Bloody Bay, my district, where there is this tank farm that was done by WASA recently. It's fenced in, it's with barbed wire, but the gate is never locked, was never locked.
At a media conference over the weekend, WASA rejected claims that its facilities are easy targets, describing the attacks as well coordinated. Augustine was speaking at Spiritual Baptist Liberation Day celebrations in Signal Hill, where he implored them to go out into the community and pour their fiery spirit into the souls of young people. Spiritual leaders also prayed for Augustine, with one leader affirming him to be the best chief secretary. A 21-year-old police officer was robbed early yesterday morning while attempting to withdraw cash from an ATM in San Juan. Around 12:30 a.m., the officer was at the Eastern Main Road ATM when 2 men entered. One pointed a gun at him and ordered him not to move, while the other snatched 3 gold chains valued at $600 and an iPhone 14. The suspects then fled. Those were your 7 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update at 8 a.m. on the TBC Radio Network.
Back to this, the second hour, our final program for the month of March. Tomorrow we welcome April, and it's been a rather whirlwind 3 months for developments here at home and more so on the international stage. Let's hear from you. Find out how you spent your long weekend and what are the plans for another long weekend coming up in just a few days. 624-8721, 627-8658. Brother Faizabad is on the line. Faizo, good morning. Morning, Brother Faizo. Faizo?
Good morning, Brother Jason.
Morning, Brother Faizo. Good to hear from you, man. Welcome.
Yes. Brother Jason, I want to touch on something this morning with respect to the nurses and the impasse that is taking place. It is very harsh and oppressive to be working on 2013 salary. Yes? In my opinion, that is, being a former trade unionist. And so, yes, I agree with the nurses, they need to be upgraded in terms of salary. But what is not being said or exposed, and I thought you would have asked that question this morning, is that coming out of COVID, there was an increase in the overtime allowances from $60 to $75. Subsequently, there was a letter coming from the permanent secretary somewhere around 2022, I think it is, reversing that decision because the COVID had ended, and the instruction was to revert to the $60 per hour overtime rate. As I understand it, and I think that maybe you can ask the question, that a lot of the RHAs, the other RHAs would have reverted to the instruction except the NCRHA. And as the Minister of Health is saying, to continue with that payment would be illegal and would expose the regional body to maybe legal challenges, the board that is. So, and I didn't hear Mr. Stott address that this morning. And it's passing strange for the past 13 years. He would have endured all this oppression under the previous regime. This regime is now in power, and they're trying to adjust it, maybe not quickly as people would want it to be, but I think it is pretty new in the tenureship, and I think, things would work, because I remember Dr. Rowley, when people asked for money, he said, take the money and lose your job. File injunction in the industrial court and all kind of thing when people attempted strike action. So it passes strange that this type of action is taken place now without, discussion in a meaningful way. Take care, my brother. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Brother Faizo. Appreciate it. Let's head now to St. James. Good morning, St. James. Morning, St. James.
Hello, good day.
Yes, morning.
Hey, JW, morning, bro. How you going?
Yeah, man. Tired, but I'll be all right, man. Good to go.
All right. Happy to hear, bro. Once again, you're always giving us that consistency, bro. Knock on wood. And, I wish you and the team, the full health, because, I really enjoy the program, bro. It's one of my favorite programs to keep me going. Real brief, I just want to say, keep up the positive vibes. Inspiring us, encouraging us in a real way with all the conversations to, make positive changes within ourselves as people and also the community, Salute to all the segments you have on the show that, simply put, kind of helping us to unravel some concepts that might have developed in the past, which mean us have had the best impact with our society and everything. Long story short, blessings to us as a country. You always mention the limitless possibilities that we have. And in a real way, not in a fantasy way, we really have potential. Real quick, one thing too, I saw they were doing some power washing works in the city. That real helpful to kind of clean the streets and everything. And looking out for more good works from the government as a whole, and just positive vibes, bro. Thanks, man.
Thank you, St. James. Always want to give us the encouragement and just give us that impetus to press on. I appreciate you, St. James. All the best, my brother. Santa Cruz, welcome, and long time I hear from you.
Jason, I'm looking at you this morning, I'm looking real tired. You know why? I see you dancing too much to the Shouter Baptist tune and things. So you look like a tired man this morning. But anyway, we'll rest. This morning, Jason, I want to first condemn the people in Tobago who interfere with the water lines to make people stay without water. I think that is a matter that needs to be dealt with in a very, very serious matter. And I'm saying so against the background because right now, even though that does not affect us, here in Santa Cruz, right now, Jason, here in Santa Cruz, especially Lower Santa Cruz, we have no water in Sun Valley Extension, no water in Monroe Road, Ducan Hill, Alfred Street, the whole of Santa Cruz. We have no water. They're trying to fix a pump outside the road whole week, and water cannot fix the pump for we to get water. So we have a real problem here in the Lower Santa Cruz area with no water for weeks, and we're going into Easter month. Just I also want to say thanks to the people who cut in the grass on the Saddle Road, because remember that was a concern I had.
Yes.
They're doing a very good job, and it is important that when you catch someone doing something good, you congratulate them at the same time.
I agree.
So I want to say thank the people who are doing a good job in terms of making sure that the road, you could see the road on the other side as such. So I think that is a good job. But right now with the no water, Jason, we need the water as such. And that will be my focus right now with respect to my comments this morning. I leave all the rest, but we need water right now in Santa Cruz. Let them come fix the pump. Thank you, Jason. God bless the people of Santa Cruz. All we asking for, give us a little bit of water. Thank you.
No, I mean, water is life, and that's important. And if you're telling me Lower Santa Cruz and parts of Santa Cruz are coping without water, we'll have to treat with that immediately. So Santa Cruz, thanks for putting that in the lights and putting everyone on alert, really, giving us the latest in real time. Keep us posted at Santa Cruz. If there's any change, call us tomorrow and let us know. Let's at East Side, Talahoketa. Any water issues in Lahoketa?
No, sir. Pleasant good morning.
Pleasant good morning. Welcome.
W, I want to say, I've just come to highlight something that is personal to me.
Okay.
I'm not speaking on behalf of the Ministry of Education. I just want to make sure I iterate this. But I have called as a human being just to want to thank the members of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the senior officers. I am the safety officer that was assaulted by a serving member of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service on the 25th of September, 2025. This serving member came in the capacity as a parent and was unsuccessfully carried out attacks on minors. And when I intervened for the safety of not only the students involved, but staff and even, the person themselves, they bit me twice, once on my right forearm, my face, and headbutted me in the face also.
This was the incident with the female police officer.
Yes, sir. It is absolutely appalling. And you know what's ironic?
What's the latest? What come out of that caller?
The DPP, yesterday I was contacted by a woman police corporal of St. James Police Station, and I was informed reliably that the DPP has given instruction to charge said officer. So I want to praise the police service with all the negativity that sometimes surround the TTPS. I want to say it's just a start, but I am really happy about this, and I think a precedent must be set. Well, I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel very good about that, sir. No. And I want to highlight this on every forum because I think there are some rogue elements within the TTPS that really, really need to understand that when you serve, it's to protect and serve the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
With pride. And let me tell you, Kola, I'm glad you would have given us the latest, because I was wondering what happened there. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and the reality is whether
you saw the video, right, sir?
Yeah, it was appalling. But I mean, we don't have prejudice the case, because I guess it will have to go in front of whoever. But the reality is, whether you're from the protective service, you could be who, to come into a school and assault any member of staff. No, that doesn't lie down good with me at all. That is unacceptable.
Yes, indeed.
You any major, I mean, you get bite on head, but were you injured at all from it?
Sir, she busted up my mouth. I was bleeding, and then when the police that responded on the scene, she knew one of the police, and she was like, yeah, and she called the officer by name and said, yeah, call me and watch me in a very obnoxious, cocky way, and walked away. It was so traumatizing for me. I was like, this lady just assaulted me, and there's no redress.
Yeah, and I'm glad to you held us trained, because if you had decided to now fight back, you know, it would have been a whole different story. Yeah.
Right now, I probably would have been calling you collect or something.
Yeah.
You know what's ironic, though, sir? I'm a former police officer, you know.
Wow, look at that. Wow.
Yeah. So it is what it is, and I just want to say I thank the senior officers who kept me informed. I really was resolute with this matter, but I really honestly was going to go along with the cliche that nothing was going to come out of it, because, you know, some of us here, we kind of have the mentality where nothing ain't going to get addressed in Trinidad. But let me keep faith, and I want to praise the police for at least initiating this process anyway.
Well, thanks for keeping us in the loop, and we'll stay on top of this story.
Thank you, sir, and you have a good day, man. Keep up the good jobs.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I remember that video. That video was unacceptable, and well, based on what he's saying, there's going to, at least the wheels are turning as it pertains to some kind of justice. Ms. Digo Martin, it's been a long time. Welcome again, Ms. Digo Martin.
Good morning. I hope you had a lovely weekend.
Yes, probably a little too lovely. I'm feeling tired, but I'll be all right.
What that gentleman just spoke about there, that was so appalling, because they put police in the schools to stop the school children from fighting. And there it is, a member of the TTPS attacked. This thing was unbelievable. But anyway, let's move on. I'm so glad the guy went and filed his charges. JW, when I hear people saying they don't have water, like Mr. Santa Cruz, for 2 weeks, JW, I cringe. I mean, thank God for our supply in Diego Martin. I can't do without water for 1 day. And he's saying, 2 weeks? No, this is, Wassa, you'll need to do better than that. And I want to say to Wassa, try and put in cameras. The problem in this country, we don't put enough cameras on our streets. And Wassa need to put some form of camera at their pumping station, because that vandalism in Tobago, it was terrible. So Wassa, step up your game and see if you all could put, because that will continue if you all don't put measures in place. JW, you have a blessed day.
All the best, Diego Martin. Thank you so much. I trying to gather why someone would want to sabotage the water, you know, the area that treats with the treatment plant and stuff. I mean, that is mind-blowing. Probably we'll take one more. Let's see if we could squeeze a little commentary out of Arima on this Tuesday morning. Arima, welcome.
Hi, good morning. I don't know if I'm not hearing you so clearly. Good morning, Jason.
Morning, Arima. We're hearing you, though. We're hearing you. So go right ahead. Go right ahead.
All right. Now, I just want to say to the drivers out there, don't matter how you talk and you explain and you tell them, you talk about the road, it's the same thing. I want to say those people who causing the accident out there, they are alive and the innocent ones have been killed. I find they should do something about it, because sometimes when you're driving down the lane there, and nowhere, when you do so, is a car in front of you coming on your lane. And I find this is nonsense taking place now, because some drivers don't care and don't give a damn about nobody on the road. They want to be speeding. When you do watch, it's because they're in front of your car already. They should do something about it. Get them off the road, because, as I say, the innocent ones have been killed and they're free. All you can even drive a good gas car, and all you want electric cars on the road. Well, if all you want electric cars on the road, what else it will have on the road? Because we don't take our time to drive. Take all your time on the road. This is nonsense. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a passionate call there for all of us, and it's a reminder even for myself, for everyone here who is in charge of a vehicle going behind the wheel. And I mean, to really see the footage there, it's really heartbreaking, you know, to really see that, because, you know, the reality is that someone would have lost their life with the impact. A family is now planning a farewell. They didn't make it home. And a lot of different conversations coming out of that said incident, because again, people are asking for a better barrier to separate the southbound, of course, to the northbound. We would have seen that over the years where you don't even know how a car end up on the next side of the road, and sometimes, you know, they will, somebody's just going about their way, minding their business. It's one of those situations where more questions than answers. But again, as the last caller said, a quick reminder for all of us to really be extra vigilant and to take our time and pace ourselves on the black carpet. And for all those who would have lost a family member, including myself, who lost an aunt, my godmother, yeah, we could all relate to this. It's a hard one, a hard pill to swallow when we lose a loved one on the road via a vehicular accident. It stings, it hurts, and it stays with you for years. So we send condolences again to the family, and we, you know, just try in our capacity to be vigilant and to be extra careful on the black carpet. As I say, safe travel on the gravel. And yes, there's plenty gravel. Even though we've seen some work, I must say, I'm seeing some work. So I have to say kudos to Minister John. I'm seeing some stuff happening, but there's still room, obviously, for improvement. Nonetheless, we take the pause. We come back. Karen Rose joins us, our digipreneur. He steps in for our next conversation. Stand by.
Jason has watched every World Cup from here, but not today. Because he made all his purchases with Visa and won a trip to the FIFA World Cup 2026. Whoever uses Visa most wins. Pay with Visa.
Looking for a smart way to grow your savings? For just a limited time, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Credit Union is offering competitive fixed deposit rates of up to 4%. That's up to 4% guaranteed when you invest with PCU Fixed Deposit. Visit any of our locations in Barataria, Arima, San Fernando, or Tobago to get started today. For more details, visit policecreditunion.com or call us at 6124-PCU. PCU, your future is safe with us.
have no fear. The digipreneur is here. Karen Rose joins us on the Zoom line, touching base from Thailand. It's morning time here. It's more or less evening time on your side. And I'm seeing, Karen Rose, a message from your goodly self. Ordering coconut water at 1 a.m. in the morning. You could get coconut water on an app. You order coconut water on your phone, brother. That's why you're seeing here? At 1 in the morning?
1 o'clock in the morning. So last night I woke up and I was feeling parched. And, you know, I wasn't feeling for regular bottled water. And I was like, you know what? I would love to have a coconut water right now. So I jump in the app, I jump in Grab, I pull up coconut water, and I see a list of coconut vendors that are delivering the same menu that you just saw, delivering fresh coconut water to your door 1 o'clock in the morning, free of charge.
Wow, well, you're giving the coconut men here now a great idea, and I think we need to step up our game because we have no shortage of coconut, but we can only get it at a certain time. I mean, come 1 in the morning for sure. You get no coconut unless you decide to climb a tree damn self. So wow. All right, Karen Rose. Well, interesting. I'm happy to see what's happening with the tech. Great to see you as always as we treat with our topic today. Key social media trends for business owners in this calendar year 2026 and beyond. What are some key trends?
Yes. So we have had some major changes in 2026. The way that social media works today, the way it is positioned, the purpose of social media, everything has changed in 2026. And businesses usually are a little bit behind to jump on, you know, where things are going, and they tend to stick to, you know, what is safe, what they have learned over the years. The problem is that things are changing so fast, and again, 2026 is no shortage of changes. So the biggest shift for 2026 to start off is that social media is no longer what we call social media. It is now called interest media. And the reason why social media is being dubbed as interest media is because now when you log on to the social media platforms, you really don't ever see the content from people that you follow anymore, right? The content is typically coming from people that are outside your network. How social media works today is that whatever you show interest in, whatever you engage in, that is what is going to be showing up in your feed. So there are times when people say, you know, why is social media so negative? Well, the platforms, the algorithms are giving you exactly what you engage in. So if you constantly engage in the negative stuff, that is what you're going to keep on seeing. However, social media, if you are engaging on content that can actually help you, that is going to be showing up in your feed religiously. So this is also the reason why Instagram and Meta, they released an update where you can actually restart your feeds. That way, when you restart the feed, it clears out everything you would have engaged with over the last 30 days, and you are free to start searching up things you are interested in and engage in the things that you want to learn or you have interest in. But that's one of the biggest changes in 2026 so far.
You think anything will change based on that landmark decision last week in the U.S., I believe on the West Coast, where someone would have charged, well, they basically, I won't say charged, they put up a case, a lawsuit, a litigation, and they're saying that social media, literally, they would have been feeding people, going through the same algorithm and feeding them content and causing major addiction, mental issues. It was very intentional. They knew what they were doing and pushing a particular agenda. And it's a landmark, a landmark decision via the courts in the U.S. You think we can see any particular change in the trend based on that development, Karen Rose?
But we are seeing it. So what we are seeing over the past couple of years is we are seeing, since 2022, there's been a 10% decline of the amount of time spent on social media. We are seeing the younger generation, the same Gen Z crowd that, you know, we're always trying to strategize around and create content for. That generation has been the least on social media of all the generations that are using the tools right now. They are now coming offline, which brings us to our next big change for 2026, is the fact that people are becoming more analog. So with the rise of the addiction, with the rise of the negative content, the rise of the AI slop, there are more of the younger generation who is feeling like this is not the place to be hanging out online, and they are now retreating to more and more offline activities. To your point, we are also seeing worldwide more and more countries rolling out the mandate or the legal change that people under the age of 16 will no longer be able to have access to social media. So we are going to see more and more monumental changes, and who knows what social media looks like in 2027 now that that we're trying to kind of curb all of the negative aspects of social media.
So based on the trends and the fact that, well, some people are kind of, as you said, going into analog, I mean, I'm shocked to even hear this. How do we adapt? How do we remain relevant? How do you remain trendy? Is it that, I mean, comedy works a lot. People always go down that particular route to grab attention. Sex sells. What's the strategy really for a business to stay relevant?
Yeah, so now that we have more and more AI content being dumped online, and I mean, we're seeing it. Look at Carnival. Look at how many events just use generated AI content to promote their events. A lot of these things are turning people off. But here's one of the biggest bright spots with all of these changes is that for businesses, now this gives us permission to go back to, instead of being polished, instead of trying to make it seem like, life is perfect, now there is a real yearning for authenticity and for what is real. People don't just want to learn about the business, they want to learn about the people that are building the business. How do they do their things? What goes into the business? People want to learn about the messy middle. They don't just want to see the finished, polished product as the end result in your content now. Now we want to see the day-to-day. We want to see what goes on. That authenticity is what is bringing more viewership and getting people engaged with who you are as a brand. So, for example, if I own a roti shop, people don't just want to see you post a picture of roti and curry every single day. No, we want to see the people who are in the trenches, who are making it, the personalities. Let us get to know the team. Let us get to know the process. Let us see the messy middle. That is where social media is right now. And for the business owners, if we can just get away from having to think that every piece of content needs to be this perfect, this picture-perfect end result, if you can get comfortable with showing that messy middle, that is the type of content from a social media perspective that is doing well and that people engage with, because again, the AI content, the negative content, that's just inciting negative and it's doing a lot to people's mental health. Now we want to reconnect with people again.
How does that messy middle fit into, let's say, a corporate entity that is fixated on image and presenting themselves as this particular juggernaut of business? Could the messy middle work for a corporate powerhouse?
Well, here's the thing, right? Those are the businesses struggling the most because they have such a fixated need on brand guidelines, sticking to the brand. That is what worked for a time period, right? For a very long time period. But the way social media works today, that's just simply not what people are engaging with anymore. So if people are not engaging with the picture-perfect outcomes, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, how big, how small you are. If you want to participate and you want to build community, you want to get engagement, then you are going to have to figure out, what does messy middle look like for your organization? Otherwise, you're going to be hiring expensive agencies. Agencies are going to continue to create cookie-cutter output for social media, and you are not going to get any engagement. And that is what we are seeing across corporate, not just in Trinidad, but across the world. Corporate brands are the ones that are struggling to most to stay relevant or build any type of engagement or community on social media today because they're not willing to change to where people are at today.
And when you decide to embrace the messy middle, is this going to be a short form video or a long form engagement?
Yeah, so great question, which brings us to the next big shift across social media, is that now people are using multiple platforms for different stages of making a decision. So somebody might be inspired by something on TikTok. They might want to learn more about you, your product, what you are about. So they go over to Instagram to see exactly what your platform is about, to learn more about you. And then after we've been inspired, after we learn more a bit about you, now we jump into the LLMs like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. And that is where we ask even more qualifying questions to dig deeper into your product or services to see where it is at with us. So now a business needs to understand how the digital landscape is working within the social media world, so the different channels, Meta, TikTok, you name it, but then they also need to understand where does the buyer's journey happen outside of social media, and your team is now going to have to now construct a plan that allows your brand and your business to be found across multiple channels. And the thing is that with the help of AI and building the right workflows, you can, because a solopreneur like me can manage being in media, TV, the newspapers, radio, social media, a podcast, a blog. I lecture in universities. I can do all of those things as a solopreneur. A corporation with budget and resources and a team has no excuses in 2026 because solopreneurs like myself and many others are outperforming agencies and corporate when it comes to building their digital presence.
Is this the same approach, that authenticity, that messy middle, embracing the reality of the moment, if for any reason a company or a brand is in a controversial moment, they're trying to weather a storm, there's been some kind of mishap with the business, how does one approach treating with that via social media?
Yeah, I'll tell you what not to do. Don't you dare type up a press release and post that PDF to social media and think that that's what crisis comms is today. That is a surefire way to show the public that you do not care. And the problem is, Caribbean-wide, what we have in marketing roles is we haven't really upskilled many of our marketers. What we've done is we've just converted people who specialized in PR and communications and brought them over to digital marketing, which is why we see a lot of static, a lot of content that doesn't really hit home or make much sense. So when it comes to dealing with crisis, now more than ever, it's going to take the people who are involved. So that's the people like the CEO or anybody who is involved or who can speak from a level of authority. Get on social media and just grab your phone, grab your camera. You don't need a whole camera crew to come in and speak about the situation, but just being real, being authentic, having a CEO or somebody in leadership to just jump on the social media platforms, grab their phone and speak directly to the audience, that is going to do way more than us typing up a press release and posting that 1,000-word press release onto social media. That's not going to get the job done anymore.
Karen Rose, sincere thanks as always, keeping us in the loop with all the trends. God spare, we'll chat again next week, Tuesday.
Always a pleasure. See you again next week.
Karen Rose, our digipreneur, have no fear. Up next, the Evita's House steps in for the I Walk to Remember. It's around the corner next month, and next month is tomorrow. So get yourself ready for Saturday, 18th April. Full details after the break.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
New remedy for the healthy function of the nerves in the feet and legs.
I have been living with diabetes over 10 years, and the nerve pain was becoming unbearable. The numbness, the tingling, the burning became a daily challenge. A friend told me about New Remedy, and after 3 weeks of trying it, there was a marked difference.
Benfotiamine, a synthetic form of thiamine, has been scientifically shown to help relieve many of these symptoms, especially in early cognitive decline. I strongly recommend it as part of your supplement regime and for all patients with nerve problems.
I have confidence in New Remedy because it contains benfotiamine. This has been proven to help with numbness, tingling, and pain in the legs and feet.
As a pharmacist, I strongly recommend New Remedy to all my clients.
If you're experiencing nerve pain like I did, try New Remedy. It worked for me, it will work for you.
New Remedy is available at all major pharmacies nationwide.
As parents and teachers, we came together to establish the National Council of Parent-Teacher Association because we firmly believe that there is greater strength in unity. Today, our schools face real challenges: bullying, violence, and fear. No parent should send a child to school and wonder if they will be safe. No teacher should walk into a classroom afraid of losing control. That's why we welcome the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service into our schools. They bring expertise, they bring skill, and most importantly, they bring the reassurance that learning can happen in peace. We believe in unity. Now we are stronger. We are on board with the police.
The School-Oriented Policing Initiative. Securing our schools. Securing our future.
Calling all filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
I'm so happy to have with me on set as we prepare literally some days away, and of course tomorrow being April. I want you to put this date on your calendar. Let me check it out here. It's the 18th of April. It's a Saturday, and we're coming all out to support the I Walk to Remember. We have with us the chairman of Avita's House, Lisa Haddad, here with us. Lisa, great to see you.
Hi, nice to see you.
Indeed, and Dr. LeBlanc, you're in great company this morning, Lisa. Dr. LeBlanc always here with us to share. Different look there for Dr. LeBlanc, but you're pulling it off, as always. Yes, great to see you.
Thank you, morning.
You know, this is such an important engagement, and I guess the reason it's called I Walk to Remember, as you can see with Dr. LeBlanc's t-shirt, with your t-shirt, you literally put the name of that loved one to keep their legacy alive, to walk with them, basically walking for them and with them on the day in spirit, I would imagine.
Correct. Why should I be forgotten if I'm out of sight? Mm-hmm. So that's basically why we started this walk. And I think, looking back at last year, what stands out to me is I remember someone crossing the finish line and coming up to me and hugging me and saying, "Why did you wait so long to do this walk?" I think that what it has done is brought a community together, has brought a release, almost as if you couldn't breathe and all of a sudden you could breathe now, and that love that you had nowhere to go is now poured into something, of remembrance about your loved ones.
Yeah, so important, the work done by the Vita's House, Dr. LeBlanc, where palliative care?
Yeah, palliative care.
And folks, really and truly on their way out of the life, we always talk about death with dignity, being surrounded by your loved ones, by, I guess, your your person of your particular faith. My aunt, I remember, her last days was also in a hospice, as they say, and I remember it was tough, but I was happy and reassured that she was around the people she loved. And I know what you'll do is of utmost importance, and that's why I guess it's a moment for folks to come out and to lend that support via supporting the T-shirt. Even if you're not coming out, still I would say come and give a full support. But we want you to come out nonetheless. Yeah, we want you to walk. Because walking is good, right? Of course. Yes. Keeping yourself moving. How do we organize and structure the T-shirts? Are they still available? They still have some room?
We do have some rooms left. We have about 250 spots left. And I think we have about maybe 2-3 weeks to go. So I know that those are going to go fast, and it's going to be sold out soon enough.
2 weeks, 4 days.
Yes, 2 weeks, 4 days. So if you are going to support, I urge you to do that now.
For those who might still be a bit skeptical, everyone will have their choice. There are some people who want the final breath at home. But for those, if the family really can't cope, they can't manage the caretakers. What's your advice in that regard, Dr. LeBlanc?
Hospice care is amazing because it allows caregivers, it allows family members to not only be caregivers. It allows you to spend those final moments with your loved one. It's amazing how calming it is. You get to really give back to that loved one, and that loved one is able to really just have quality time with you rather than you being the actual caregiver. Not only that, JW, sometimes it's quite difficult as a relative, especially like a daughter, a son, an aunt, a granddaughter, anything, to see your loved one in pain. And, hospice care allows for almost a painless experience, dare I say, because you want to have a comfortable time. You want that patient not to suffer at all. And you don't have to do the ins and outs and all the medical treatment that allows for that death with dignity. And, hospice care is amazing. My grandmother, as I told you, went through that, and that's when I recognized the importance of it. And understanding that Vitas House, although we offer terminal care, terminal palliative care, we do offer respite care. And that means you're home, you have cancer, things are getting real rough for you. You can come into Vitas House for respite care, and we get you back on your feet to continue your journey.
Thank you so much, Dr. LeBlanc. As we wrap things up, Lisa, how could we ensure that folks get the 250 spots that remain? Give me the details, because we need to be there on the 18th.
Well, you definitely have to go to the race roster site. So we are being managed by Extra Mile, which is under the management of Nicholas Singh. And you just go to the platform. So it's under raceroster.com. And, well, all the information will come up on your screen again. And so if you do forget, just go to our Vitas House Instagram page, and you can get all the details there as well. But, we'd also like to thank JW, all these sponsors that have come on board. This is an amazing event. This is a heartfelt community event. We thank Chobani and the Hardcore Group of companies for constantly supporting us. They have done an amazing job. We have fabulous support from companies like Tribe, Spirit Mass, Dachshund Group of companies, PRFC. We have, the list goes on and on. SS Passat, it's immense. The list is immense. Trinidadians really do come out to support something this is just an amazing cause.
Well done. And as you can see, as we wrap things up on screen, just some of the action from last year. You're going to be there this year for the 18th.
And will you be there, JW?
I'm there already. I'm
okay.
There. Yeah, I there with Nikisha and the team, so we're there for sure. Ladies, all the best.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much.
That's right. You're most welcome. We come back and get some details concerning UTC and what's in store for the SEA students. Yes, it's the investment starter plan. Details next.
RWC protect your loved ones with a Western Global Security Combo, only $3,000. PS5 console game, $5,400. Unwind with an 85-inch Samsung TV, $9,999. HP 14-inch laptop for $1,900. Amazon 8-inch Fire tablet, $760. HP print scan copy printer, $625. We have speakers, mouse, printers, and lots more. 3 months layaway also available.
Can you do this? From all over Trinidad and Tobago, Anil wrapping roti at lightning fast speed.
Sandra nailing every order in her hardware.
Lisa, who is in sync with style. There is no buffering at her boutique.
And Dr. Alex filling prescriptions with care. They're all part of the 5,000 strong businesses connected and growing with reliable, high-speed service from Amplia.
Now it's your turn.
Because with Amplia,
you're in good company. Amplia Business.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
Always a joy to have Hema with me on the program, my colleague. I mean, Hema, trust me, up to this day, right?
Up to this day.
Hema, of course, in a capacity there at UTC, head of marketing, and when Hema's here is always to bring great news. And I knew you were going to come in because SCA, of course, being last Thursday, and I know the CISP program, what you'll do there with that investment starter for the students, the encouragement really for the parents and guardians to come in and get the ball rolling. It's that time again.
It is that time again. I think time flies so quickly. And Jason, as you mentioned, every time. So good morning to you and to your viewers.
Good morning.
My man has just evaded me there. But this is really about a promotion that we have that's going on. It started last Thursday, the day that SCA was written, and it goes up until the 30th of April. What we are doing, and there you have the artwork, once you start a CISP account within this time period with a minimum of $500, UTC is gifting you an additional $200. So you're getting $700 worth of units for your initial investment. This is something that we encourage all parents to do because, Jason, as you know, in a blink of an eye, your child is literally 0 today and 18 tomorrow. And you have to find the money to finance their dreams, whatever path that may be. The world is changing so much. So we just let everyone know this is an educational plan. This is also a career plan. So if your child decides to do conventional tertiary level education or even follow a path, a different path, but the money is there at that time when they are ready to take on their level of independence or pursue their dreams. Now, you have to go in, you go to any of UTC's investment centers. We have 9 investment centers throughout the country. We also have agents who operate throughout the country. We encourage you to go on the UTC website, but take advantage of this gift that UTC is giving within this time period. Also, there's a sweetener in this promotion. At the end of the promotion, which ends on April 30th, we're giving out a number of prizes, one of which is $3,000 worth of grocery vouchers. And I know when we sort of did a quick focus group group, everyone says the one thing that increases exponentially in their expenditure when their children start going to school is that bill at the supermarket or the grocery. So we're also giving you the opportunity to do that as well. But in a deeper sense, Jason, this is really about involving your children in the culture of investing. UTC was created in 1982 to create an investor class in Trinidad and Tobago to give you, the everyday man and woman, the opportunity to own stocks and investment instruments. We encourage people to start that language with their children from the age of 10, 11, to say, this is an investment, this is your own, this is what you have started. And we want to do that, and that's why we're starting it with such a great incentive.
Hima, walk me through some of the mechanics now. What's required to actually open the account? Because I guess it's the parent or the guardian or godmother, godfather will step in to do this.
So the account will be held in the adult's name, and at the age of 18, it is then transferred. Onto the child's name. But it really is for the purpose of that. That is really the nest egg that you're creating for your child. And as with any investment instrument, a utility bill, proof of purchase, and to benefit from this promotion, you need to walk with the SCA slip.
Because I'm not going to say you need to walk with the slip. Yes, because that 200 extra is really for those. And that's from SCA from this year. Don't walk with no last year slip, 2 year slip. You know these things go, right? But yes. So you could walk into any one of the UTC locations and get the ball rolling. In terms of topping up the account, could one take out a standing order to keep it flowing, or you have to come over the counter? And
that's what we encourage. UTC is fully online. In fact, we have one of the easiest portals that you can sign on to. Go to our UON platform. You can go to ttutc.com. We have so many tutorial videos. Just again, we also have an app which allows you to access, to look at your balance. Everything is allowing you to start utilizing your investment account within the at your fingertips. And it really is also setting up that standing order, making it, and that is what we encourage, because the more you invest, the more you reap. So the CISB is a growth, there's a component of growth and income in it. So you benefit once you continually keep investing it. You benefit from both elements of it. So it is a long-term investment product. You get dividends paid on it. You continue to reinvest the dividends. So that at that time, when one day you get up and your child is 18 and saying, all right, Daddy, time for me to move on. I would like to do this. You don't have to look around. You know specifically, I have been working towards this. And it's not even just about that. I encourage everyone to look at the investment products, look at your goals. Right now we're talking about education and a career path. There's so many other things that you could be saving towards. And I like to encourage people to understand the difference. And I know this is a conversation we've had a lot of times, the difference between saving and investing, understanding that. But to understand that we are creating the opportunity for every single citizen to own investment instruments in the country.
Hima, I would imagine, based on the feedback from last year, I mean, seeing it back, what was some of the great stories you heard from last year? What was the big takeaway that for sure you all said, you know what, we are on to it, we must keep this going, well, 2026 and beyond?
Obviously, we do create some KPI targets, which is the amount of accounts we want to open. But this goes beyond that. The fact that we can go to schools and children are saying, hey, I own a CISP, I have an investment. That is why we do it. It's not just only, because UTC was not created just for that. And I always say UTC is very different to other institutions. We are judged by our ability to create value for our unit holders. We are judged by the dividends that we pay out. That is the element of success. So what we look at is when young people tell us, I own stocks and I own bonds and I own investment instruments. That's why we do it. I also was interviewed recently, and one of the hosts of the program said, I know about this. I went to school because of this. And it really was a moment that was really an aha moment, because it has been around for a very long time. But it just kind of shows the evolution. Society changes, but our needs remain the same. And this is a channel to ensure that your needs and your child's needs and your child's dreams are definitely financed.
Where can we go to get more details online? Of course, I know there's a website, but just give me all the socials and all the web information.
So check us out, ttutc.com. You can also check us out on all of our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. UTC is very cool. Not really a space I go into often, but also give us a call as well. And we have 9 investment centers throughout the country. We also have a number of agents, online and offline, who offer these products. But I encourage everyone, especially within this time period, while you go and you get the tangibles, remember that this is extremely important. You know, you may see it as, oh, I have a long time. But Jason, you know that. We talk about it all the time. Just now you were like, how's the big man? And I'm like, just 3 years ago, I was telling you I was pregnant, having a child, and now I'm like, this child is controlling my entire life.
Yeah, I tell you, the time, Father Time, I always say, is undefeated, and you really see it through the eyes of your children, through their lived reality, and I think this is a real perfect time to get the ball rolling. Because the secondary phase is going to pass. Form 1 will turn to Form 5 like in a blink of an eye. So at least the process has been, you know, you've started the process. And again, you're seeing all the requirements as per usual to open an account, well, the investor's account here, and more importantly, the SCA slip.
It is, yes, because it's to benefit from the promotion, but I also would like to encourage everyone. UTC is 40 plus years. We are the largest mutual fund in the Caribbean, and in this case, you understand the importance of the strength of the institution, the purpose of the institution, the fact that the institution is backed by an act of parliament, what differentiates us, and the fact that we have such solid financial advice. So check out all of the products that are available. But I encourage everyone, once there is a child within your space, start the investment account.
And it starts with the 500 TT, and UTC will put 200 on top of that, so it's like you're starting with 7.
Yes, that's exactly it.
And you build it, and you keep going, and you're going to the very end of April. The 30th of April is the lock-off day.
Yeah, and this is the first phase, so we'd come back again during the July-August break with another phase of this promotion, but this is the first phase of the promotion.
With the seconds that remain, Hema, any closing remarks?
I just want to tell everyone, open a UTC account if you don't have one. Now that I'm in this world, if I knew then what I know now, trust me, I'd be very different in life. But on a very serious note, I do want Trinidad and Tobago to understand that investing is for all of us, and UTC is there to help you along that journey. So to all of those who have written the SE exam this year, take advantage of this promotion. It is something that we're gifting to you, and we're gifting it to you because our primary mission is to create an investor class and allow access to wealth creation.
Hema, always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hema Ramkisoon touching base with us on this Tuesday. Of course, God's spare, I'm back for more tomorrow. Thanks as always. A sincere thanks for tuning in, taking in the information, and we implore you to see what's going on there, especially for those with the young ones. God, mom, God, daddy, mommy, daddy, auntie, uncle, cousin, and then this is really amazing for the kids there at UTC. I'm back for more tomorrow, God's spare. Have a great day, TNT, and a safe day. All the best.